We are live. Sometimes it feels like you all are live before we are. Hello,
Mm.
everybody. Diane, Gwen, Marcy, lovely to see you. Kristen, the gang's all here. Good morning, everyone. I'm Barbara Etienne with Projectkin, and joining me today is none other than my cousin, Bill Moore, out in Rochester. And of course, I'm reminded that my co anchor here, Zarabeth, is paying very close attention, reaching out to the pen from time to time. So if I need to draw the line, I will. So you know that.
Good luck with that.
Hello, everyone. So let's go ahead and get started. Bill, talk to me a little bit. We're all getting ready for Roots Tech here. How are things going for you?
Going good. I'm just kind of trying to get everything lined up. It's going to be a busy few days, but I'm here. I've got my shirt ready and got my bunny slippers on. So
We
uh,
didn't coordinate, really, we didn't.
no, it was not planned, or at least not on my part. But um, no, it's going to be a really fun 3 days coming up. Um, the uh, I've got my sessions that I'm planning to attend all planned out and printed all the syllabi and have them um, hole punched and in a binder. So I can just they're all in order, so I can just flip through uh, going from one session to the next. Um,
Oh, good call.
yeah, it won't work out. I'll hear about a session that I wanna pop into, and it'll completely throw me off, but, I try. Uh, but,
You
um,
know, that's a good point. I have this big old notebook that I sort of played the game of specify what you want and see if they make it. And they did. So 8.5 by 11 pieces of paper,
oh, yeah,
with a dot, a slight perforation, so I can put pages, staple pages into the notebook. And, printing it out. Good idea.
mm,
Good idea.
I I used those notebooks a lot back in my, project management days.
That's where it comes from.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but,
can't live without engineering notebooks. Call 'em.
no,
Yeah.
yeah, and, preferably, with grids or with just dots there. Um, oh,
Oh my, Kristen.
Kristen,
Yikes. I had no idea.
yeah.
Welcome back, Kristen. Great to have you. And points to Diane Burley for the reference to cerulean blue for all of those who remember the Devil Wears Prada. Great reference. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. So I want to totally thank you and Kyla for those great tips in the cousin hunting. You won't want to miss those cousin hunting series of posts that Kyla and Bill did as part of our ride along. Talking about best tips for really getting the most out of the relatives at Roots Tech. Surely it is getting the most out of it in terms of finding new cousins. Yes, of course. But it's also, we're all here around Roots Tech, and it's all cousins who are kind of rowing in the same direction and sharing many of the same paths, and connecting has been fascinating. So you've had some wonderful tips for us on that. Do you want to share a few of those?
Oh, we've had, had a lot of fun. I actually met, a second cousin once removed, and we've been messaging back and forth. Her, uh, let's see, great-grandfather and my grandmother were brother and sister. And I knew a little bit about the family. I think that she didn't, uh, but, fun seeing somebody that's, that closely related, because before that, I think 5th cousin was the next closest that I had.
Yeah.
Um,
I
so
would, yeah. Wouldn't you love to see what the relative percentage of adoption of relatives at Roots Tech among attendees has been over the years?
yeah, yeah.
It seems like it's much higher this year, doesn't it?
It seems like it's getting off to a really good start. I saw, uh, earlier, I think there are something over 300,000 people, signed up. Um, yeah, of course, the vast majority are going to be, uh, are gonna be online. I think Myrtle said, they're looking for about 30,000 in person, which just blows my mind. You know, um, that's just an, unbelievable number of people in the conference. Um,
That doesn't surprise me, actually. I remembered the one time I'd been on site, it was 2020, and maybe that was a high point, but that felt like about 30,000, and, maybe I'm
yeah,
just used to tech conferences that get scary big, but, it did seem yeah, 30,000 would be a
yeah,
great number, and we've already over 300,000 in the total registrations and participants and relatives at Roots Tech, so, like I said, I have to think that there is a there's already relatives at Roots Tech is a subset of those at Roots Tech,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And, maybe it's above 50, above, 80%. But with 300,000 in relatives at Roots Tech, and let's say it's 30,000 on site, it's at least a 10 to 1.
yeah,
That's what I'm getting at.
yeah.
And, that's why we're here in our bunny slippers, doggone it.
That's
So
right.
you
Right.
posted about your bunny slippers. I'm afraid mine are simply black slugs or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Because I got to get up and down those stairs all the time. It's very dangerous. So Gwen, I need you to talk. Yeah, boy, Gwen, I feel your pain as far
Yeah.
as asthma and breathing perfume and just being outside's a little scary. I'll be honest. um, talk to me about this Control and Plus. I use a Mac, and we use an Option key. I think when you do Control, I'm never quite sure. Do you know what she's talking about, Bill?
I'm not real sure. No.
Figured out why I could not see my relatives from Roots Tech. I had forgotten to use the Control and Plus. So I had to use Control and Minus to see the persons in case that happens to you. Gosh, I have a feeling I'm not doing something now. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm trying it on mine, but I don't really see what it
I'm gonna
does.
shift my chair a little bit here because my cat has moved on, as cats will, and
Oh,
my back is
and mine
twisted.
is and mine just came in the room.
Oh,
He's
good. So it's
he's
your
down
turn.
having his treats.
Apparently, she was messaging you.
Yeah.
Do you want my treat box? I got the good ones.
Yeah.
Control plus it
Oh, okay. Okay.
yes. And for you Macintosh users out there, that's a command plus on a Macintosh and command 0 to reset to even. So yes, I get
Yeah.
that. These, I'll have you know, are bifocal dust glasses because I can't see both my computer screen and
Oh,
my
yeah.
paper at the same time. They
Yeah.
are
Yeah. Yeah.
wonderful.
Gwen, I just got a bigger monitor.
That's right. That's the other solution also.
Yeah.
Literally picked one up on the side of the road, and now I have 2.
No.
Yeah, technology is surprising sometimes that way. So it's lovely indeed, as Kathy Stone has put it. Happy Roots Tech, everybody. Happy Roots Tech. I
Yeah.
think we are seeing people chiming in with their cousin counts and what they're trying to accomplish and where they're going to be. I wanted to call your attention to a couple things the Brain Trust of Chinia bloggers and Projectkin has come up with as part of our little ride along, our Roots Tech ride along partnership. And 2 innovations we dropped yesterday. I threw them into the post I did from my conversation yesterday with Linda Hines. And they are one that we're going to do a group photo. And you might wonder, How can the remote people be part of a group photo? See, the Genea bloggers group photos at Roots Tech have become kind of legendary, and they've been kind enough to share with all of us, the generosity of blogger beads. So we have our own innovations on new forms of blogger beads, but we're out here. So how are we going to do that? Simple, a scheduled Zoom call. So Friday is picture day, everybody. They're gonna grab us a spot at 1600 Society Hall for those of you who are on site, and go ahead and take the picture. And if you miss that, you could pretend you're online because I have two, count them, two spots for our picture day. One to the convenience of our Atlantic participants, that is to say, all of Europe and anybody on the Americas that leans to the early, and then for all of us on the West Coast who lean to the later, and all of the Pacific, we have Pacific friendly hour. So those two are in my post earlier. I'll drop them in here, and they're also at the top of ridealongpartners.org for picture day. Because come on, man, this is epic. We got to capture the details. And I will put two gallery photos together with the folks that are in the photo, the staged shot, and I'll figure out how to do that. Something will happen. And what was the other one? Oh, watch parties. Watch parties. So somebody suggested it, and it seemed like a good idea. Then I saw that Society of Genealogists have a watch party, actually a whole set of watch parties, around 8 or 10 programs that they've selected. But that's, of course, for the entire membership of the Society of Genealogists. So we can do that too. We can do it too. And it seems that best practice for the cheap seats, anyway, is to go ahead and use a Zoom call. So I'll use my Zoom bridge. I'll bring up the Zoom call. I've designated the first one as being the big AI panel on Thursday. That's with Steve Little and the gang. I dropped my email there. If you've got an idea and you really want to see a watch party happen, talk to me. If I'm if it's not competing with my own Zoom call uses, I can make my Zoom bridge available, but I need somebody else to be the host, because I'm busy. There is a limit.
Yeah. That AI panel is gonna be really, really heavily attended.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
it's, it is, so important, and there's been so much going on in the AI world recently that,
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. I mean, just in February, 2 weeks ago, maybe, Steve Little did a talk for Genea bloggers that anybody can see posted to the Genea bloggers publication. And it was fantastic. I think you were there. And then the notes that were circulated were
those
superb and incredibly helpful for anybody to read along and see all about it. Um, but, the progress in agents since then, Notion is popping in there saying, "How about
yeah,
agents?"
yeah, yeah, I've been getting the messages from Notion on that, and so, yeah, I'm not quite sure if I'm, ready to go there yet, but
Canva will offer them soon.
yeah,
To do
yeah,
what exactly, I'm not sure.
yeah, but the notes that Steve put out after the, Jenny bloggers call, I I mean, I've been griping enough about the 1 and 2 page syllabuses that, people put together, he sent out, 27 pages, uh, that was, and there was no fluff. It
There
was
was no fluff, and anybody, to the generosity of the Genea bloggers, anybody can just watch their Zoom
yeah,
and soak that up. In fact, that might be a good place tonight to read up before tomorrow's. It's
yeah,
already tomorrow's talk. I have a fairly quiet afternoon after this today, and I'm really kind of looking forward to finally being able to settle down and do some of that. I mean, I don't know about all of you, but certainly for me, I guess I've made a habit of this. There's so much in the roundup to Roots Tech. By the time it finally comes, I'm exhausted. So here we are.
I think Zarabeth has plans for you this afternoon.
Yes, she does. I know. The magic box.
You know,
Like I said, we're moving on to greenies. Yeah. Only gets them when she's in the actual basket. She has a little sidecar here. So I refer to
mm,
her as the sidecar, my employee of the month. So you get your uh you know, relatives at Roots Tech, all of the kinds of programs. How do you break down between, what to watch? Well, watching live, the things that you can't otherwise get recorded, of course. But then, of all of the things that you can see recorded, how do you even prioritize?
I did it a little differently this year. I'm kind of prioritizing the uh, professional level sessions, but and you still get some conflicts on those where you have to decide between a few. Um, I look over the syllabus, and if it's a session where I think I might want to ask a question that I want answered live, then that's the session I'm going to attend. Um, if it's one that I think, oh, this looks like some good content, but I don't think I'll have problems, grasping the concepts. That goes on the list to watch next week or next month.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Have you started to there are some of the chats are open for sessions already.
mhm.
And I've noticed on things like relatives at Roots Tech, there is a lot of chatter, though I don't see it very productive.
No, no, that's not.
I haven't
Um,
noticed in some of the big talks like the AI panel. I just haven't even looked. I would imagine that there's a lot of chatter going on over there. Is that right?
and I haven't looked at it either. But I would guess that yeah, there is. Um, that it's actually one of the things I like about the way Roots Tech does it. They don't shut the chatter down as soon as the session's over. Um,
Hmm.
and some, not all of the speakers will monitor the chat for a while and jump back in and answer questions, which I think it
Mm.
is great.
And And it's retained, that,
Yeah.
the comments are retained even well after RootStack. I don't know if they go on
Oh,
for a full year, but they do go on. So when you watch programs, that were recorded and you watch the recording, you can then go in and see the chatter too, which is
yeah.
kinda
They're
nice.
um, just looking here. I don't know if they've cleaned it all out from last year or not, but I was looking the other day, and there still some chats that from sessions I attended last year are still up. Um, and that's great because not all the questions that we're going to ask are going to be able to be answered during the session. So the longer the chat's up, I think the more useful it is for us. Um,
Especially since there will be some obvious questions that may very well be answered with external links, for example.
yeah,
You kept mentioning Harriet Stone. Who is this Harriet Stone? And then you can go back in and paste in the family search ID, and
yeah,
all questions are answered. Yeah, that would be really helpful. That would be very, very helpful. Um, Gwen has a comment in here I'd missed the first time. I noticed that when you go into a lecture to print the syllabus, when you return, you get kicked back to the beginning of the day. It's actually the whole beginning of the whole damn thing, I think.
yeah,
It is so annoying. I totally agree with you. I think there is a place to drop comments, feedback for the pages. I think we should all go in there and be shameless about the feedback. I want to think it was Kyla who, as an insider, she is for the state of Texas, has a special role. She's going to be doing a what is that round robin talk for the state of Texas, and I don't even know if it's these things are by all states, but certainly Texas is way out there with such a large regional area. She was just talking about how much the engineers are really just waiting in bated breath for the
yeah,
comments. So
yeah. So
get that one in.
Yeah, on the bottom right, there's a, button that says chat, and, you can go in there and that's got all the session chats uh, and everything, but there's a ask us anything section down
Yeah,
there. That's a good place to put your suggestions. Um,
absolutely. In fact, you might even want to prepend the subject with something like UI feedback or something like that,
yeah,
because there's going to be a triage person that's reading all of these messages and figuring out who has to respond, and you want to get this straight to the development team. I know that as a vendor, in the early it from we I was an online vendor for 21 through 23, and Ask Us Anything was the only path that we had as vendors to reach somebody to say, "Hey, I can't see my whatever. My playback isn't working," or even urgent things like that. Those were kind of wild and crazy days for the online Roots Tech, and things are way better now. But
yeah. Speaking of UIs, I was in, Relative Finder a little while ago, and they have a fresh new UI.
yes,
Um,
yes, they do. Uh,
I'm not sure
you
I'm not sure I completely like it because, it's a little harder to, find our private group.
Oh, relative finder. Yes,
Relative
that's
Finder,
I'm
yeah,
sorry. To be clear, this is not relatives at Roots Tech. This is Relative Finder. And yes, they have completely relaunched it in a way that at least breaks down some of the fundamental bugginess, but it also kind
yeah,
of explains why those obvious bugs had not been fixed. And I think that's simply because they were redoing it.
yeah,
Not interested in fixing the old stuff.
but
So yes, sorry, Gwen. UI is
yeah,
Bill and I, we go way back. We never knew each other, but it's like we lived in parallel universes from a career perspective. So yes, UI is a segment within a development team that does the part that you see. There's a whole lot of work that happens on the back end of it, but the UI is the front of the house, if you will, as a
yeah,
restaurant. So relativefinder.org is fun in that it shares the same, using that same metaphor, backend. It uses the same access to the database that Family Search does. It's managed by a team, as far as I can tell, at BYU, with probably student labor
yeah,
supporting that. And it is at relativefinder.org. I can't talk and type at the same time. I'll type it in there in a minute. And within that, there's a great big button that says groups. Tap on that and then do a search and look for Projectkin.
yeah, I was gonna say,
Um,
if you're already signed up for Project Ken, when you hit groups, um, it'll come up saying your groups, and if you look down, there'll be a box that says member. Click on that, and um, Project Ken will come up, and any other uh, of the pre-made groups that they have that you've uh, connected to. But yeah, so other than that, then you have to go up and search for it.
And the neat thing is that this lasts. It's just persistent. It's not specific to Roots Tech, and yet it still tells us a lot of the same core information that we would get from 300,000 of our closest friends, our
Yeah,
closest cousins, except that it's only the cousins that have joined. So we all have a self interest in encouraging each other to join. And there isn't even a sign up. Your sign up is Family Search. So you just use your Family Search account to log in, and then you are accepting to Project Kin to be in our group. And I don't get any information about you other than your Family Search connection. Um, a really important difference is that over on Family Search, they'll tell me that I'm an eighth cousin to Bill, and it'll tell me I am eighth cousin, and this is the path. This is our most recent common ancestor. It doesn't tell me that I am also a 15th cousin to Bill through this other ancestor. And that's actually where it gets really interesting because sometimes with some people, I think there's people like Randy Seaver and I are seventh cousins. Susanna Minton and I were again seventh cousins. And there's like 200 different pathways
Yeah.
between us. The closer they are, the more pathways they are. That's not surprising. But sometimes the not common pathway is where some of the most interesting connections lie to be able to understand whatever pathway you're researching because the other person has already done the work
Yeah.
and you can
And
share and you can learn.
yeah, you and I are connected 53 different ways now.
There you go. And uh, one of the reasons I think what I'm finding, and you are probably too, is that in my family, I have one half of the world was very deep roots American in the sense that the ancestors arrived 300 or more years ago. And then they have all these different bifurcations and pathways, but still it's way back. And a whole bunch of them were Quaker. So they're very carefully documented. That's where I know you and I have a lot of
Yeah.
overlaps.
Yeah.
The other half, my dad's side, came from Germany in the mid 19th century, as many American families, also Canadian families, also in the Pacific, of course, with Australia and New Zealand. A lot of that immigration happened about that same time. Sidebar, it's giving me a whole new world view of the effects of the Industrial Revolution. But that aside, it has meant that there's just a very different overlap. And it also shows us really how American centric family search has been and why we all have a strong incentive in encouraging its wider distribution. There's a really useful site in Europe, or at least as I have found for my European ancestors at geneanet.org. And if you have ancestors, out there that did not emigrate to the Americas or to the Pacific, it might be worth taking a look. Geneanet.org doesn't have a lot of the richness of storytelling, but when you tap into sources that have something else behind them elsewhere,
Yeah.
it's like WikiTree in the sense of being incredibly rich.
Yeah. And, with as you connect to, uh, somebody on Relatives at Roots Tech, once you verify that the information is accurate, because it's not always, um, add them to your tree. The the more complete your tree is in family search, the more relatives at Roots Tech you're going to have next year. Um,
That's right. Those laterals, man, those laterals. So
yeah.
the laterals are to say that when you find that great, third great grandparent, good for you. You probably also know who your ancestors, sisters, and brothers are. Take the time to go find them. They're probably already there in family search. They just aren't hooked up to your tree. And when you do that, poof, all of a sudden you see all of their descendants, and that's where those cousins lie. Deborah Carl pops in with, we talked about downloading the syllabi. I opened the sessions in new tabs so I didn't have to keep getting bounced back to the beginning of the day. Like that solution, very practical. And I admire and respect your RAM. I am opening so gosh darn many tabs, so many different ways. I am
Yeah.
choking up my RAM. I did discover this might be useful too. At least if you use Chrome, using groups in Chrome can be wonderful. I have like 14 different tabs related to the ride along partners exercise. So I just keep them in one group, and as soon as I'm done, I close it, and that actually takes it out of the RAM competition, which is
Yeah.
helpful for managing memory. Gwyn, excuse me, chimes in with, I'd like to look for my Mennonites in Pennsylvania in relative finders. Would they be an isolated population like the Quakers? Ooh, probably. And Gwyn, do you know Marion Beeman? Um, I will type her name here. Marion, are you online? I didn't see you
I
come
didn't
in
see her.
today.
Yeah. I was thinking about her too. Um,
Yeah, look
I'm
for Marion Beeman, who has written a book about her Mennonite ancestors and her own experience at like just the granddaughter level. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
oh, well, no, I was gonna say, I did a search on Relative Finder. I don't see Mennonites as a, discrete group on Relative Finder, so, um, but, there, there may be some overlap, on the Quaker list also, so,
Yeah.
uh,
And keep in mind, it is a little slippery. I mean, for example, you might say we have 56 common ancestors. I'll look at it and it says 37. And it'll show just like your list of famous relatives. I think the famous relatives is the same part of the database.
yeah,
A week ago, I was, what was it, fourth cousin to King Charles the First, and then I wasn't.
no,
Then I was 42 famous relatives, and then it's 31.
yeah.
Whatever.
Gwen, I've got a bunch of runkles on my
Ooh.
tree, so, we should, get together offline and, compare notes. We may have some connections there.
Okay, I'm logging back in. The other thing about Relative Finder is it kicks you out when you least expect it.
Yeah,
So just if things aren't behaving, do a refresh, and you're probably kicked out. You're probably logged out. And I'm looking for requests because I probably could set it up with a password. I'd have to be telling all of you what the password is, but I was reluctant to change that because I'd already told people I did one thing. So there are 23 members in there now. I'm in here now. So if all of you, while we're chatting, want to go ahead and lie again, or in the next few hours, I will make an effort to stay awake, pay attention, and accept everybody as you come on in. So I'm not really putting this through a serious filter to be sure. I don't really think we're at risk of mashers hitting us there. And they can come on in and discover it while they're there. So we have Relative Finder. I have there. Oh, also, if there are a total of 23 people in there now. If there is no relationship from you to them, they just won't appear on your list. I'm managing it so I can see that fuller list, but feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions.
yeah.
It's a good one.
Anyone who's gonna be on site, uh, looks like Relative Finder is in booth 1519.
Oh,
So, um, stop in and say hi,
yeah, to
find out
congratulate them on their
what they're working on next.
yeah. And a quick reminder for as we go ahead and wrap up here for our little uh uh ride along partners at Roots Tech, and we are doing our little ride along. I am very happy to take your posts and add them to what I'm thinking of as a shared space. And Deborah says, actually, last time I logged into Relative Finder, I saw everyone and some were listed as no relation. Oh, okay then. Thank you, Deborah. I lose track of I'm not looking at it in a fake logged in a fake account, so I'm glad you can see that now too. That didn't used to be the case. And oh, look at that. Paul Chiddix is my 15th cousin. That's new. In any case, as you go in, and this came to mind as you mentioned, Bill, the so and so's booth. If you have live streams that you've done, or you've done a live stream with someone like Kyla or Lori, or people who will be on site, friends of yours that are on site, let me know. I'd be very happy to share those and get them a little more visibility. I drop them onto the ridealongpartners.org/posts page. And right now, yes, I have a button there. You can add them to that page intentionally, but I'm out there hunting for them. I can add notes, I can add posts, and frankly, I've been a little busy, so I've not done a good enough job lately in getting more of them up there. So don't be shy. Tap me on the shoulder and say, please. I think of it as the equivalent of a repost, except to a wider audience. Because remember, we're not just on Substack. We're everywhere, and everywhere the web can be, and that's to me the whole idea. Not everything works with hashtags, and not everybody is on Facebook. Um, and it's time to use a little, it is a little manual curation. Try
Yeah,
not to be too creative about that,
yeah.
but there we go.
One
And Kathy's working on lives. You
yeah.
keep working on those lives, Kathy.
Um, one more little tip for anyone that hasn't done Roots Tech in the past. Tomorrow, when the expo hall opens up, go in and take a quick tour through the expo hall. There are a lot of they'll be doing a lot of live things. They'll have their schedule up, um, because a lot of the new product information you're going to see it on the at the expo hall, not necessarily in a session.
That's
And
absolutely right. Because
you know,
remember, the most creative new stuff is coming from brand new startups that nobody's ever heard of,
right?
and they certainly don't have the resources to be major, platinum sponsors that gets them their talks and their banners and whatnot. So that's absolutely true, and I believe they all have chat spaces.
Yes, yes,
So hearing about it, chatting it up, definitely worthwhile. For the purposes of the posts page, I've made the executive decision that I'm keeping it focused on our personal opinions of those, whatever you see. But I'm not interested in vendors' own pitches for
yeah,
what they have. It's a fine line, and having been that vendor pitching it, pitch our little hearts out. I get it. But until you turn the knob on convincing somebody that this is new and interesting, um, for our purposes of our community, I needed to find a line to draw, and that's where I'm doing it. We're platform independent. I feel very strongly about that. I think that's where our strengths lie. So that's how and why I'm going about it that way. And I'm very happy if all of you want to go about and talk about why something made the difference for you, because now that's all the more interesting
yeah,
because
yeah.
you're impressed with it.
And some of those little vendors, you know, they're they're going to be presenting things that maybe aren't quite baked yet. Uh, I know it's such a shock, but last year there was a vendor there that, and I haven't heard anything from them in a while.
Oh,
They may not be around anymore, but they had a mapping application, and for a few weeks after Roots Tech, we were communicating back and forth because they had a few bugs that they needed to work out, and I found a couple more bugs that they hadn't found yet. Um, but you can be really helpful to these people that are trying to come up with products that will help us in the long run. Um, but also, if you see something that you think is really neat, whether or not it's really ready for prime time, post a note. Let us know so we can all go in and look too. Because there are a lot of products out there, and if we kind of share the information a little bit, uh, it'll help us all, and uh, maybe save us some money by not having to subscribe to something that isn't going to do what we think it will do.
Bill, you gave me another idea.
Oh God, this is dangerous.
You should have known better. Uh, what if, I mean, packets are free. What if I created, time is not. What if I created another tab, another section to the Ride Along Partners site that is basically posts about vendors, posts about new tech, new products.
I think it's a great idea. I mean, um,
feedback from any of you online? Let me know. What I'm thinking is I'm feeling a little badly about just saying no to what was me on the other side of that wall. I think that's where this is coming from. Again, I still have
Mm,
wounds. 12 years as an entrepreneur, it doesn't go away quickly. And I am still deeply grateful. I see you, Kathy. Kathy Stone. I think about she was one of the first people to have faith in what we were building as Ponga and actually put down cash. That made all the difference in the world. And so I will. If I can get 5 posts about doing that, I'll first put them onto the post page, and then if I have a little bit of time and I'm bored with something, I'll create a separate tab. It's easy and start posting them there. And that includes notes because remember, it doesn't need to have, it doesn't need to be a post, and it does not need to be on Substack. I'm happy to take posts from anywhere. I take the preview information that comes from a public link. I cannot take a post. Ironically, I can take a post from Threads. I can take a post from X. I can take a post from Blue Sky. I cannot take a post from Facebook or Instagram because they will not embed because of their approach to a walled garden. You have to be logged in, and even public posts on Facebook won't embed.
yeah.
I could go through it with you later, but you don't want that tech. So there it is, and that's going to be my rule. So happy to have yeah. Thank you, Kathy. Gwen, I see your note here. Looked at Relative Finder, like the large lettering on the trees. I can see it well. So it's met the specs test. I like that, Gwen.
Yeah.
That's a good rule, and it is a development feature in modern user interfaces is to design for the disabled in any number of formats, including small print, as well as ability to be translated, as well as that's why we do things like alt text in our images, but it's also a benefit for search. So never want to miss those subtle things. Alrighty, we are running late, running long, I think, and I want to go ahead and wrap this up. But I want to thank all of you for joining today. It's been very gracious to see all of you here. And we will catch you on the flip side, as they say. I'm doing these all week, keeping them short though. And tomorrow starts all the big excitement. So stay hydrated,
Yep.
keep your slippers on, stay
Eat your
comfortable,
Wheaties in the morning. It's going to be a long day.
eat your Wheaties, or keep the kitchen nearby. Take care now, everyone. Bye
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 bye.
now.
Yeah, it's seeing every Hill Street Blues story.
I know.
I
Be careful out there.
you see about it.
Yeah,
And then as you say that, then the music goes on.
yeah, yeah.
So, wow.
It's not ending. Why is it not ending?
You both cats.
There it ended.
Or you're
No,
performing.
not ended.
Hello.
Oh, I know. It's not ending. It's not ending the chat. Yeah. It is not ending. Hey, Lisa, I see you there. I'm actually the live stream ended about 5 minutes ago, and something is wrong, and I can't seem to end it. So I'm writing this up now for the support team. So forgive me if I ignore you and try to get this done because I have no way to do this. And in the meantime, my entire screen is live for the world. So, hello. Feel free to drop a chat there. I'll be right back. I'm focused on this message to the support people. Um, the normal way, then tapped the end button as usual to end it. However, it has not ended. I did not get the close screen as I usually do. This was a scheduled live stream and no different from the ones I've been doing since January 2025. Help, please make it. Oh. Hey there, Lisa. Sorry about the. So, what's going on with you while I'm waiting? Since I can't apparently do anything about this, I may as well chat with you. I can't seem to. I had a great conversation with Bill, and I believe all of that will be at the front end of this whole thread. The engineering team apparently has access to my chat now, and there is no definite timeline for a fix. So I am talking to my computer like an idiot. Let us know if we see any changes. No changes yet. Never seen this before, but gosh, when Jennifer Jones chimes in, she apparently had the same. Well, at least she reported it as having a live stream that she didn't know hadn't actually ended. So, uh, uh, maybe this is the same failure case. It feels, well, it is a bug. So here we are. I feel like reading a book or something for you. Are you still there, Lisa? I can't really tell. It's lovely of you to visit. Trying to think of, oh, it was your conversation with Mert the other day where you talked about watch parties. Is that right? Did you, is that right? Are you there? See if I can pop over here. Do I remember you correctly as having suggested watch parties during Roots Tech? Uh, I'm sitting here waiting for the live to end and don't seem to have any way to make it end. If you see me tapping away at the screen, it's simply because I was trying to see if attempting to create a new live stream, I might possibly force the last one to end, and no, that didn't work. Um, I'll add that to the tech team. So I'm recording my screen while I do the following, and bear with me if anybody is even listening or watching. Here goes. I am trying to start a new live stream right now. Please don't send email to everyone, and we'll skip inviting anyone. And it does a loop, and it does nothing. I'm just talking to myself as I'm attempting to record. I noticed that on the live stream freezes when I attempt this and it says, okay, next, okay, skip, and it's just this endless loop. So it is not streaming while I attempt this, or at least it doesn't appear to as I watch the screen, which still says that I'm live, but it does a loop on the screen, freezing from the last thing. So I say cancel, and then I am back to streaming. I think within a few seconds, I'm going to end this recording. Okay, save to photos. So I can send that from photos. All right, my next attempt at ending this live stream will be up. No, in the live stream. And the live stream comes right back. Yeah, the live stream comes right back. All right, my next attempt is going to be to simply put the machine to sleep. Let's see if that does it. Bye bye. Oops. And then I wake it back up again. Oh, shit, it's still there. All right.